this video, we're going to be talking about a video from Red Leg Piper, where he did a video talking about the fact that he quit his warehouse job of 12 years and says hard work gets you nowhere. We are seeing more and more men discuss how they are walking away from the labor force. Let's get right into it.
So the quick answer as to how I left my warehouse distribution center job is, for the last couple years before I put my 2 weeks in, I planned my escape behind the scenes really quietly without anybody knowing. I got my home right, my finances right, got all my debt paid off, stacked a lot of money, and had something on the side prepared before I put my 2 weeks in. And nobody knew. I didn't tell a single soul until HR 2 weeks before I quit. I was at my warehouse distribution center job for almost 12 years. Started in 2010. And well, at that time, that was a pretty good job. It was a good work environment, even though I was still loading trailers. What I was doing was I was in shipping department my entire 12 years. Loading trailers full of product to be sent out to stores. Well, about year 6 into it, I ended up staying in shipping, but I put in a driving position to get on a forklift in a reach trailer or reach truck. So my last 6 remaining years with the company, I was a forklift operator in shipping department. Again, it was okay about year 6, but I started to see a heavy decline when management started changing, when HR started changing, and the company got bought out by another company. Now, the job was still secured, more or less, regardless. This company has been around since the early 1900s, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. However, I quickly realized that the new management didn't give a shit about the team members and didn't give a shit about, anything about kissing ass to corporate, which, that should be relatively common sense about any job, right? But it's kind of, not easy to wrap your head around when this job you've had for so long was a good job, right? It was a good job. It's not like I was going into a shitty job to begin with, where it was a toxic work environment. For half my time there, it was a good job. And then slowly but surely, management crept in and started allowing really bad team members to get away with a bunch of shit. Now, I'm all for hard work. I'm all for downtime as well. When you get your job done and you got a little bit of downtime, I'm cool with that. I used to do the same thing. But the job always had to get done. And the unfortunate thing about it is that the new management that crept into this warehouse, into this distribution center, was so toxic that they would allow the lazy people to sit around on pallets, go for half-hour bathroom breaks, take longer regular breaks, just disappear off the floor, go talk to random girls, and a lot of the management would, flirt with the team members. They formed their own little clique, and I saw that coming a mile away, and I didn't like it.
And that's why people end up leaving a lot of times, because the management is so terrible. That's what always happens. A lot of people don't get along with their managers, and that's what will make most people quit every time.
In fact, they wanted me, among a couple other hard-working individuals in the department, to take on the bulk of the work. And for a while there, I was stupid, and I did. And I found real quick that I'm doing more work for the same amount of pay. I'm doing their work while they're slacking off and doing nothing while I'm getting paid the same amount of pay. No promotion, no extra money, no this or that. The company started slowly going downhill. No incentives to come into work. No incentives for a lot of things. And I'm probably preaching to the choir with probably 99% of jobs out there. And hold on, I'm not just bitching, okay? I'm going somewhere with this. About how I got out of it and why I think you should too. The company, the management got so bad from top down that my wife actually worked there too for almost 20 years. She got me in. She worked there for 20 years. I was there for 12. She was there for 20. And she even saw it because she put in to be a manager. Now, like I said, she doesn't have any, no bad attendance, no write-ups, no nothing. Squeaky clean, history with the company for 20 years. I had squeaky clean attendance across the board, and no strikes on me, no write-ups or nothing. I was a hard worker, I thought, and she was a hard worker. We got stuff done. And, and it's just unfortunate that the management, even though my wife wanted to become a manager at one point, they were promoting the wrong people. It was the women that was going around sleeping around with the other managers and that were wearing hoochie shit were getting promoted. And my wife obviously ain't like that. And so she put in for manager 3 fucking times. 3 fucking times she put in for manager. And they denied her every fucking time. Meanwhile, they're promoting women that are sleeping around, women that are flirting with other managers, wearing hoochie shit, running equipment off the dock and doing all these just tons of shit that they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. But somebody who dedicated 20 fucking years to your company with a squeaky clean record, who has been in all other departments, every other fucking department. She knew the work of every other fucking department. You turned her down 3 fucking times. And you hire the hookers of the company. Or you promote the hookers of the company. What a slap in the fucking face, man. What a slap in the fucking face.
That's an issue right there where a lot of companies do come in and get bought out by another company. And once they bring in the new managers, you do see team members and employees having issues at that point, and that's when all kind of mess come up, especially when his wife has been there for years doing everybody's job around there. But when the new managers come in, they act like they don't notice or recognize her worth on that job.
Not only that, but it was just, I got tired of being used. I got so tired of being used for what? For no incentive whatsoever other than to work more harder, catch other people's red lights. It was like red light fucking district up in that motherfucker. For some of y'all who don't know what red light means, is that the conveyor belts have so much product on them that it's getting backed up. That I ended up having to go up to these red lights because other lazy motherfuckers weren't doing their job, and it's like the lane exploded and fucking boxes are falling off the fucking line and shit. And I'm trying to go in there and fix their shit, taking on the responsibility of the managers and some of their work to get their workload some of their workload off their back, so their managers and their IOs aren't jumping down their back. In the meantime, half those motherfuckers are standing at their computer, ain't doing shit. Walking around, not helping. Flirting around with other team members. Sitting in their fucking office. Making themselves look busy. And like I said, it's not like tiered. I mean, the next level up would have been, because you got team members, and that's it. Team members, managers, and above them were IOs, inbound, outbound, management, and then maintenance. And then obviously you got corporate and shit like that. But if you're just a bottom of the barrel team member, y'all get paid the fucking same. It don't matter if you've been there what, 2 years or 20 years. Y'all's getting paid the same. And I dedicated 12 fucking years to this company, man. 12 fucking years. My wife put in 20 fucking years. For what? For fucking what? These companies don't give a shit. You could die tomorrow and they'll have a moment of silence over their PA, if you're lucky. If you were on their side, on their good side, no matter how long you were there, you'll get maybe a minute of fucking silence and then they replace you the same day. There's no incentive to work at these warehouse jobs anymore. And it's not just because of the lazy people that they're bringing in. And this is true. I've seen it across the board at this job, at this warehouse for 12 years. And my wife's seen it for 20 years. They bring in the lazy people, and all they do is sit around on their phones, talking, bullshitting around, not getting the job done. And this isn't just Gen Z. This is fucking millennials, Gen Xers, baby boomers. They're all fucking not working. None of them are fucking working. And you got maybe 10% of the workforce in there is doing 90% of the fucking work for the same fucking pay. I took on a lot of the roles of management, doing startup meetings and shit. Well, that was my own fault. But like I said, my mind wasn't right because it was a good job for the first few years. It was worth going into back in 2010. And then shit just changed with management. And it starts at the top. People want to say, management want to say, well, if we could only get good workers in, that's like 50% of the freaking problem, man. Half the problem, if not more the problem, is them, the management. They're the reason why people don't want to work for them. Because they don't hold others accountable, and they sure as hell don't hold that same standard and hold themselves accountable. They don't want to get in there and help you out. I'm not saying all of them. There was a few managers in that company over the 12 years. I can count on probably one or two hands out of hundreds, though. 10% were worth a damn. And those 10% of those managers that were worth a damn were overworked themselves, and their hands were tied. And there was shit they couldn't do.
Yeah, that also sounds like a lot of managers that company go through. And that's the issue with a lot of companies. There's never any long-term structure. They go through managers like they go through employees. And just on a side note, like, look how clean this man's car is. I think that says something about him, like the type of person he is. I think it reflects his mindset and a little self-pride.
But the other 90%, the vast majority of management in these warehouse jobs, they're fucking worthless, man. They're pulling them off the street with a degree instead of hiring within with people who have experience and know the building, know the system, know the departments. And I'm not just jaded because my wife didn't get it 3 fucking times. Of course I am a little bit. Fuck them. You know who you are if you're watching. But it's just hire within, like promote within, man. Instead of pulling people who have a degree. Your degree ain't shit, man. Just because you have a degree don't mean you know how to fucking do operations in a building. There's team members that know how to do operations more than some of these fucking managers. It's ridiculous. It's not worth it anymore. It's not worth going into these warehouse distribution jobs where you're treated like dog shit. And then you might be the 1% that's working hard. The other 90% are dog shit too. They don't want to fucking work. They want to sit around. They want to do the least amount of work as possible and get paid the most as possible for as long as possible. That's why you need to not quit. I'm not saying to quit. Don't quit because right now you need a job. I'm saying use your warehouse job as a stepping stool to quiet quit. to get yourself in a place to where you can walk out and work at any job you want, like I did, and be happy doing a job you enjoy, even if it's less money, to where at any point in time you can say, you know what, I don't like this job, I don't need you, you might need me, but I don't need you. Because I've been retired for the last 2 years, and I made a video about how I'm trying to search for purpose. Like, I had financially everything in order. I had all my ducks in order to quit this job of 12 years. And the reason why I didn't quit right away is because I have kids. I needed to make sure that I had a plan in place. And it took me 5 years of the 12 years to plan to get out from my escape. And I'm here to tell you, you can do the same thing. Plan your escape. Don't quit. Plan your escape. Because these warehouse jobs, these management, they don't give a shit. They don't care. And it's not just the management, it is people that don't want to work, man. It is people. And they sit there quietly laughing at you while you're hustling like a fucking rabbit all over the dock floor trying to get the shit done in time just so you can go home and get paid the same amount of fucking money that these lazy motherfuckers are getting paid. And management is to blame. Who the fuck wants to work like that? Who wants to work like that? And on top of who wants to work like that, who the fuck wants to be in management over that? Shit has to change, man. It's crazy. These companies, the management does not care for you, for me, for anyone. They're about the dollar. And I get it. I mean, I get it. Corporate America, right? Corporatism. I get it. I'm for it too. But at the same time, grab your fucking balls, managers. Grab your fucking balls, man. Start HR. Grab your fucking balls. Start paying attention to the ones that are depressed and angry. Because the ones that are depressed and angry are most likely the ones that give a shit about your company. The ones that are just laughing it off and chit-chatting and bullshit, they don't give a fuck about your company. They don't give a fuck about work. It's the ones that become bitter in the job that you need to be paying attention to. And it's crazy because that's what they want. That's what these companies want, is for you to become bitter. So you walk out, so you quit. They don't want somebody who's been there 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. They want you out. I'm in my 40s now, and I'm starting to realize late that you should never count on one single job. Never count on one single job for your finances, for any kind of security, because there's no such thing as job security. Always be upping your skills. Always be maybe even looking into a trade. Looking into bettering yourself. And planning your escape if you work in some kind of dead-end job, warehouse job, factory. They're all the same. Fucking everybody wants a job with a pension. Well, pensions are long dead and gone almost, and everything's just a 401k now. Union jobs aren't what they fucking used to be either. The union reps don't give a shit about you. They just keep the shitty employees. That's all they care about. Most unions, anyways. I'm not going to speak for all, but most unions don't give a shit anymore. I want you, if you enjoy your job and you love your job and you're satisfied in warehouse distribution work, typical warehouse job, more power to you. If you're happy, you're happy. But if you're like me, and you got sick and tired of being sick and tired of that warehouse job, not so much because of the job itself, but because of the work environment, the toxic work environment, and the shitty management, plan your escape. Plan to quiet quit. Don't quit. Use it. Use that job as a stepping stone financially to get yourself out.
I'm glad he plugged that in there to let me know. Now, look, don't just go quit your job. Just like what he's talking about, just have a plan together and some savings before you do that.
Don't be like me, man, and invest 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years into a company that don't give a shit about you. And that only promote the shitty workers, the hookers of the company. Makes no fucking sense. Makes no sense, man. Shit makes no sense.
And we all have seen that in the workplace where it's like the hard workers are always punished while the lazy people, you know, they can just do what they want to do. They be the ones getting all the raises. These people are usually in there playing the social circle game. You know, everybody get in their little cliques and hang out. A lot of times because everybody in there kissing the manager's butt. Or apparently in this guy's case, the managers was in there rubbing on the ladies' butts. We all have to learn the hard way that all hard work gets you is more hard work. And if that's the case, you definitely might as well just be working for yourself, putting that hard work into your own company. You can tell this man's truly a hard worker and a very disciplined person. You know, there's always one at the job who want to do things the right way, by the book. You can tell he was definitely a great employee, not just good. His job is going to miss him. But I'm going to stop the video right there. There will be a link down below. You can go check out the full clip for yourself. You guys be sure to drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about what this man had to say. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.